If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that most of my pedal demos are just straight playing, no talking. But I have to say that this new pedal from Poly, the Josh Smith's signature Flat V, I really want to talk about it because it's so interesting and it's so different from other pedals that I've demoed before, and there's a ton of features in this box. But I'm gonna jam a little bit more because this sounds so good, and then I'll come back and we're gonna play around with it together. So I'll be honest with you, when I first got this pedal, I had no idea what it did just by looking at it. I didn't know how the controls worked or where the controls were, and it seemed kind of overwhelming at first. In fact, Josh himself described the pedal as the most simple, most complicated pedal. But actually, once I figured it all out, it all kind of made sense to me, and most importantly, I was able to get some really great tones out of it. So I'm gonna do my best and try to explain how this thing works, the features, and of course, the sounds. Okay, so if you're like me, you might not be able to figure out this pedal just by looking at it. So there's 2 foot switches, no knobs, and a bunch of crazy lights. Now, first off, many of the lights that you see here, almost all of the lights, are actually buttons or kind of like touch-sensitive controls. So at its most basic level, this is a gain pedal. Now, what's more, it's got 2 separate channels that do totally different things. Starting with the left switch, which is channel A, this activates 4 different clipping diodes with kind of different characters, which are selectable in this column in the center right here. You've got a Schottky diode, which I'll admit I've never even heard of, but I think Josh's first signature pedal, the Love Pedal Chula, some of those had the Schottky diode. Then you've got a germanium, silicon, and then an LED diode. So I'm going to play through them just in this first patch. Now, this first patch is actually Josh's go-to patch. So here is my clean tone. I'm just using my Novo Idris with the Fralin split blades going into this Amplified Nation steel string singer. There's a little bit of hair on it. Turn on channel A. So that is the Schottky diode. Now I'll press the germanium button or touch sensitive icon. A little lower in volume. And a little bit of different clipping behavior, right? Schottky again. Silicon. Compared to the Schottky, I think the Schottky has a little more gain. And then lastly, the LED. So you can kind of tell that there's a little bit of a different clipping behavior, a little bit of different compression, a little bit of EQ differences. So this switch, this left foot switch, which is channel A, coincides with only the 4 diodes in this column. That's all it does. The right side, channel B, is basically for everything else that you see on the pedal. So channel B is, according to the manual, an amp-style gain circuit with cascaded JFETs, which is basically like a tweakable overdrive section, but instead of traditional EQ controls, it uses resonant filters, kind of like what's in an analog synthesizer. Now, I'm not saying it's going to sound like a synth, but the EQ is tweakable by playing around with high-pass filters and low-pass filters instead of your traditional tone knob or bass, middle, treble knobs. So I'm going to switch off A and go to B. So these vertical lights that you see are actually touch-sensitive slider controls. So here's channel B. Now I can play around with the sliders like this. Volume. And actually, you can either press these individual circle kind of pentagon shaped things, or you can slide your finger and kind of get the in-between parameters. Which is pretty cool. So starting from the left side, the controls go high pass filter, which is kind of like a really interesting way of EQing something. You've got your main volume. You've got your gain. And then you've got a low pass filter. So they also have secondary controls, which you can toggle by pressing any one of the labels, like that. So with the 2 outer filters, we got the high pass filter and the low pass filter. The secondary controls are the Q or the resonance shape. So for instance, kind of changes the resonance there. And under the volume and the gain controls, we have sensitivity and speed, which actually coincide with the next feature I want to talk about on channel B, and that is the optional wave shape selection. But before I talk about the wave shapes, I want to go a little bit deeper on channel B. You see, within channel B, there's actually 2 what's called sides, or 2 independent settings that you can have. And you can switch between them by pressing this middle, what they're calling the signature button, which will change the color to white. And this tells you that you're in side 2. So we've got the original setting of side 1. Now don't get confused when I say side 1. We're still in channel B. We're still on the right side, but side 1 of channel B. This is side 2 of channel B. So I can set side 2 totally independent of side 1. So if I want a lower gain, maybe play around with the filter. Kind of make it like old-time phony sounding. So that's side 2 that I selected. Side 1. Now, what can you do with this? So you've got these 2 different settings on channel B, and the deal with the wave shape selection is that when you select one of these 4 wave shapes, it actually oscillates between the 2 sides of channel B, side 1 and side 2. or the two different gain settings that you set. So as far as the waves go, we've got a sine wave, we've got a triangle wave, we got a square wave, and then we've got an envelope follower. So here is what a basic setting with the sine wave sounds like. You might not hear anything because you got to play around with the filters. You hearing that kind of like the oscillating? Now I can go to the secondary controls and adjust the speed and the sensitivity. So let us try the triangle wave. Square wave. A little choppier. Slow down the speed. Envelope follower. Now remember, this is oscillating between the two different gain settings that I set. So if I want to change it up, let's turn that off. So this is the second side. That might be fun. So you can kind of tell that there's almost like a univibe aspect, tremolo aspect to it. Now with channel A and B, you can either use them independently, either A or just B, or stack them together, right? A and B at the same time. And you can select what side goes into what by just pressing this A-B button right here in the middle. I'm not totally sure, but I think the way this is set is A going into B. So when the blue light is on A, that means it comes first. I think, I'm not sure. So when I press the middle A-B button, the blue light switches over to B. So I believe this is going B into A. So let's check out the differences. Yeah, a little bit of difference in EQ, differences in compression, the dynamics are a little bit different. So to recap, basically on side A, you've got 4 different diodes, clipping diodes to choose from. You can almost think of it as like a boost pedal maybe, because there's no controls other than selecting the diodes. And then on channel B, you kind of have an overdrive pedal, or what maybe like an amp style channel. So you kind of have like a dual channel overdrive boost thing happening on the surface, but don't forget about the optional waveform effect. And depending how you set everything, you can get a wide range of sounds, from like a simple edge of breakup boost to like a fuzzed out kind of really gainy sound. Okay, so that's the basics of this pedal. In addition, you also have these numbers going across the top. If you press on them, changes the colors of the lights on the controls. And these are different presets you can save. So you have 6 different preset locations that you can select just by pressing one of the numbers. But wait, there's more. There's actually a total of 6 banks with 6 presets each, so 36 presets altogether. So the first bank is the bluish teal bank, which is denoted by the teal light in the center signature button, right? So in this teal bank, let's call it, you've got the 6 presets, 1, 2, 3, right? 4, 5, 6. And if I press and hold the number 2 button, you can see that the middle signature button changes color to yellow. So this is a whole different bank of 6 more presets that you can have. And if I press number 3, this is going to be your pink purple bank, and so on and so forth. And all of these presets, the controls, the parameters, can be controlled via MIDI. The pedal comes with 2 MIDI to mini TRS cables. And to be honest with you, if I started playing around with MIDI, I think I would have a panic attack. All right, so hopefully you guys got the gist of this awesome pedal. You know, for me, I dialed in some thick fuzz-like overdrive sounds that I really love. And that's honestly enough for me with this pedal. It sounds so good, and I feel guilty for not, you know, using all the other cool features like the presets or the waveform blending option. This first preset, which is kind of like Josh's signature sound. Both channels on. I might change the order. I love that sound. All right, guys, there you have it. That's the new Poly Josh Smith Flat V signature pedal. If you guys want more information, I'll put the link down in the description. And big thanks again to Poly and Josh for letting me check this pedal out. Thanks again for watching. If you like this video, click that thumbs up, share it with your friends and family. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, gear demos and guitar lessons, click that subscribe button. I'm RJ Ronquillo, and I'll see you in the next video.